got to stop this craziness of trying to find prices they're willing to pay and start finding the customers who are willing to pay your price. So one of the biggest things that I see contractors doing wrong in the sales process, and really kind of more like the estimating process, but marketing, sales, estimating really all kind of clash together, and I just call them all sales. But when the phone rings and like, hey, I want to get a job, I have a job, I want you to build me a deck. You're like, great. You go out there, you meet with them, you get all the information, you go back and you're trying to do the estimate. And in your mind, you're trying to find a price that the customer's willing to pay. So like the estimate may say you need to charge $15,000, but in your mind, you're like, there's no way they're going to pay that much. They told me they didn't really want to spend that much money. And so you're trying to find a price that they're willing to pay. It's like a game of, I got to get it as low as I can to get a job, but I can't get it too low because I got to make some money, right? It's this game of finding the price that they're willing to pay. And the reality of it is, what you should be doing, what successful contractors do, is they flip it completely around, and they don't try to find a price that their clients are willing to pay. They find clients that are willing to pay their price. You see, that's totally different. So this idea that every person that calls in, I got to try and sell them, is crazy. That's not how anything works. Sales is a numbers game. I may have to talk to 25 people to find that one person who's willing to pay, the 15,000, and the other 24 may only want to pay 10. It doesn't mean that my pricing is out of line. It just means that for the other 24 people I talk to, they don't see the value, or they don't, their reality is not true. Like they have a made up believe reality of what things cost, right? That's not my problem. So my job in marketing and through sales is to find the people that are willing to pay the price that I need to get in order to produce the job to the best of my ability. What a lot of contractors do is they want a shortcut. They try to negotiate with themselves. They try to say, well, if I work 10 hours a day instead of 8, I can get it done, 3 days sooner, and that way I can knock off a couple $1,000s. And if I work on the weekends too, and I do this and this and this and this, and in their mind, they're trying to get the prices down as low as they can because they think that that's what the customer is going to pay. And they negotiate against themselves all the time. And they're essentially screwing themselves. In reality, sometimes contractors will negotiate against themselves, and the client was willing to pay the original price. You know what I mean? Like they're just, the original price was 15, and they're like, I got to get this down to 12 because 15 just seems too high. And the client was perfectly okay at 15, and you just cheated yourself out of $3,000 because you thought that they weren't going to pay that much. So you got to stop this craziness of trying to find prices they're willing to pay and start finding the customers who are willing to pay your price.